What is truth? Yes, we are here. We are here with you now and forever. We are Shaltazar, the Gavish Baninu, the energy of 33, the master teacher. And we have come forth at this time to bring you divine wisdom that can help you live a more peaceful and content life. And we hear you ask, but why should we believe you? And we would say to you, why should you believe anyone or anything? You read so much, you hear so much, you are inundated with content and with opinions. You are constantly being convinced that this is right or that is right. It must be so confusing for you. It must be so debilitating for you to have to listen and read so much about what others tell you is the truth. We understand your confusion, and yes, we have told you that the only way to know what is true is to go within. And it may seem that we have brought forth this teaching before about finding your truth, but that is because you are listening with your mind. What if you begin listening to life with your heart of hearts? But that is absurd. How can we listen with our hearts? We hear something either out loud or silently, and we must process it with our minds. What does it mean to listen with your heart, you say? We realize this may be a difficult concept for most of you at this time, but maybe that is because you are using your brain to process what you are hearing. Let us try to explain. What if you were to play some music? You close your eyes and relax, and simply allow yourself to feel the music. There are no words, just musical sounds. You allow yourself to get into a very relaxed state and simply absorb the music. Soon you begin to feel the music. In that moment of listening, do you hear the music through your mind, or do you hear it with your feelings? Here's another example that may help. It is a very quiet morning, just as dawn begins to approach. You can't sleep, so you get up and watch as the light of day comes forth. It is the spring season, and the birds are singing loudly and boisterously. You close your eyes and simply feel their chirping song. You feel it deeply. It seems to stir your spirit. So you see, you can listen with your heart if you want to. The two examples we have given demonstrate that you can listen with your heart, with your feelings. In both examples, you were in a relaxed and quiet state. Is that the state you are in most of the time? We would surmise that is not the case. So many of you, from the moment you get up in the morning, you get into a very alert state. When you do so, the chemicals produced in your body stimulates your brain to be watchful, to be on guard, to be vigilant. That is the sympathetic nervous system's way of protecting you. Let us give you an illustration. You are in a strange place, and you are there to meet a friend. You have never been there before, and it is dark. No one else is around. You are out in the country, and there don't seem to be any lights. You begin walking to the place you are to meet your friend. All of a sudden, you hear a sound. It is a screeching sound, and it startles you. You are frightened and afraid. Scared thoughts begin shooting through your mind. What is that sound? Is it something that is going to attack me? Hurt me? But then you decide to take a deep breath. In that moment, you surrender to the fear, and again, take a deep breath. You let go and begin to trust that all will be fine. The noise comes up again, but this time, in your more relaxed state, you realize it is merely a bird, providing sounds to protect you, to guide you in this dark and deserted place. A sigh of relief comes over you, and everything feels fine. Soon your friend shows up, and you quickly forget about the experience you just had. What is the purpose of this story, you may ask? Let us try to explain. In the tale we just told you, the person heard a sound, but that sound was interpreted differently throughout the story. At the beginning, the person was alert, on guard, very cautious. When the sound was heard, the person was startled and afraid. But then, for some reason, the person decided to simply surrender to what is, to let go, and to trust. That person must have been listening to the wisdom that we have been bringing forth to your planet. Indeed, an excellent student of the teachings of Shaltazar. Ha ha ha. A cosmic joke for you. And you thought we didn't have a sense of humor. But back to the teaching. When the person relaxed, let go of the fear, and decided to trust, the very same sound that scared them was heard in a different way. We have told you before that your perspective determines your reality. The sound of the bird was the same, but when the perspective changed from fear to trust, the reality of the sound also changed. So how does this have anything to do with listening with your mind or your heart? Well, actually, you are always listening from your feelings, but often you just don't know you are. When your mind is so engaged, you are unaware of or disconnected from your emotions, your feelings. The less engaged the mind is, the more aware you can be of your feelings. To clarify, when we say to listen with your heart, we are really saying quiet the obsessive mind so you can truly feel the message that is being conveyed. The problem many of you have is that you are so busy you don't take time to truly hear in a deeper sense. You are often not truly listening, but instead thinking as you listen. You are so preoccupied that you are not aware of the emotional state you are in when you hear something or read something. So it is the mind that interprets the information. In the story we told you, the same sound, the same information was interpreted in different ways. Once it was interpreted from the perspective of fear, and once from the perspective of trust. Same sound, two different realities, two different truths. We have told you often that you live in the duality. Absolute truth does not exist on planet Earth, only relative truth. When someone tells you something, even if they tell you what they are saying is backed up by scientific proof, they are merely telling you a relative truth. And so, if you have disconnected from your feeling, your emotions, you are left interpreting that information without a critical piece of the puzzle. How you are feeling when you receive a piece of information is extremely important in determining how you perceive that information. So what is the truth? In reality, your truth depends on how you are feeling. Fear will reveal a different truth than trust will. When we say listen with your heart, what we are saying is when you are receiving information, always check in with or be aware of how you are feeling. Again, back to our story. A bird sound in the dark of the night can be cause for alarm or for reassurance, depending how you feel when you hear it. What if we were to tell you that the bird sounds we suggested you listen to as dawn was breaking at the beginning of this message was the same bird sound in our story of the person meeting his friend in the dark? Same bird sound, two very different realities or truths. To summarize this teaching, what we are telling you is that truth on planet Earth is determined more by your emotional state than by your logic. Truth on the planet of duality cannot be determined by facts alone. It should be evaluated by how you are feeling. That is why there is not simply one truth for everyone on your planet. That is why there will always be different truths, different beliefs, different perspectives at different times. Even the translator of these messages would agree that when we bring forth our teachings, there are times he believes them more than others. His belief in the truth of what we share is determined by how he feels at any particular time, and like any human being, his feelings span the full emotional spectrum. What can you do with this teaching? We would encourage you to take more time to connect with your feeling consciousness when you are listening or reading or receiving information. Realize that the interpretation, the validity, the truth of what is coming your way is greatly affected by how you feel when you receive it. Try more often to connect with your feelings when you are receiving content. But now we will again bring this teaching full circle. We have told you before that feelings are truth, and now we are telling you that your truth is determined by how you feel. We hope you are beginning to understand how important your feeling consciousness is. Without connecting to and being aware of how you feel, you will not be able to assess what is true for you. And of course, even if you find truth today, it may not feel like truth tomorrow if your feelings have shifted. So how can we cope with the fact that our truths will always be changing? By realizing that all is impermanent, that all is changing, all is temporary in the human realm. You take your life too seriously, thinking that you can control things that are outside of your control. If you move beyond the concept of absolute truth, you can come to enjoy your life more by realizing that your truths will change. You will no longer have to be stressed, always searching for the one and only definitive truth. You no longer will have to be afraid if you don't have all the answers. You will come to realize that in fear, your truth is very different than in trust. Just like the story we told you earlier in this teaching, you will eventually become very content knowing your truth continues to change as your feelings do. As you become more at ease, allowing your emotions to lead the way, you will begin to realize that life is always an ebb and flow. You will come to accept that fact of life and will not always be trying to fight it. Feelings are quite content to be up and down. Feelings are in and of the moment. It is the mind that finds that so uncomfortable, that seeks to be in control always. There may come a time when you finally realize that feelings are truth, and your truth is determined by your feelings. Then, and only then, will you be able to live a more heart-centered and heartfelt life. We bring you this message from a place of love. Our love for you is everlasting and unconditional.